They built 96 luxury houses on my land. They didn't do it by accident. They did it on purpose. I inherited 47 acres of beautiful forest in Colorado from my grandfather. It was fully paid off. It was pristine nature. I went to visit the property for the first time in 3 years, expecting to smell pine trees and see deer. Instead, I found an entire city. I turned off the highway onto the old dirt road, but the dirt was gone. It was paved with fresh black asphalt. There were streetlights. There were manicured lawns. There were families moving expensive furniture into houses they had just paid $485,000 for. I checked my GPS 4 times. I thought I was crazy, but the coordinates were correct. This was my land, but my forest was gone. In its place was a carved stone entrance sign that read, Ridgeline Heights, a Whitmore luxury community. I drove up to the gatehouse. A security guard stopped me. He said, "Residents only, sir. Turn around." I held up my phone with a photo of my deed. "I own this property," I said. He smirked at me. "Sure, buddy. And I'm Elon Musk. Turn around before I call the cops." Before I could argue, a white Range Rover pulled up. Out stepped a woman. She was in her mid-50s, wearing white linen clothes that probably cost more than my mortgage. She looked like she had never been told no in her entire life. This was Cassandra Whitmore, the developer, the villain of this story. She looked at my beat-up truck. She looked at my work boots. She instantly categorized me as poor. "Problem, Ray?" she asked the guard, ignoring me. "This guy claims he owns a development." The guard laughed. Cassandra finally looked at me. "Sweetie," she said with a fake smile, "if you're looking for construction work, we are full, but I can take your number." "I'm not looking for work," I said, my voice shaking with anger. "I am the legal owner. My grandfather was William Flint." Her smile changed. It became sharp like a shark. "Ah," she said. She pulled out her phone and scrolled with manicured nails. "Our title company ran a forensic search. This land was abandoned for over 3 years. Under Colorado law, that's called adverse possession. It means it's ours now." I tried to interrupt, but she cut me off. "We have already deposited $16 million in pre-sales," she said cold-heartedly. "Families are moving in by Thanksgiving. If you continue trespassing, I will call the sheriff personally. We donate a lot to his election fund." Then she did something that froze my blood. She pulled out her phone and took a picture of my license plate. "Just in case you decide to come back and vandalize anything," she whispered. "Trust me, honey, people like you don't win against people like us." I drove home with the smell of fresh concrete in my nose and rage in my chest. She thought she had won. She thought I was just a broke guy in an old truck. But she didn't know about my grandfather. And she definitely didn't know about the box of receipts under my bed. My name is Dakota Flint. I am a 47-year-old structural engineer. I drive a 2008 Silverado that burns oil. There's nothing special about me, except one thing. My grandfather left me land worth $4.2 million. William Flint bought that land in 1971 for $8,200 cash. He was a Depression-era guy. He didn't trust banks. He kept every single receipt in old leather ledgers that smelled like pipe tobacco and WD-40. When he died in 2019, he left me property with one note tucked inside the deed. "Don't let the bastards take what's yours." I hadn't visited for 3 years because of a messy divorce and working 70-hour weeks. But I paid the property taxes every April. $6,400 a year. Never late. Always online. I had the email receipts. That night, after meeting Cassandra, I spread all those documents on my kitchen table. The 1971 deed. The 47 years of tax receipts. Cassandra had threatened me. She treated me like a criminal. But by admitting she knew about the land, she had just given me everything I needed to bury her. I called a lawyer named Lydia Chun. My buddy told me she was a shark. She once beat a railroad company so badly, they offered her a job just to make her stop. I walked into Lydia's office. It smelled like expensive furniture polish. She listened to my story without blinking. "Show me the tax receipts," she said. I pulled out a folder thick enough to knock someone out. Every payment since 1971. Lydia flipped through them. A slow, dangerous smile appeared on her face. "Dakota," she said, "Colorado law says squatters can take land if it's abandoned. But if the original owner pays property taxes, their claim is dead. It doesn't matter what they built. It's legally yours." "So we stop them?" I asked. "I can get an injunction to stop the construction?" Lydia closed the folder. "We could," she said, "but I have a better idea. You're going to think I'm crazy." "What?" I asked. "Let them finish," she said. I stared at her. "What?" "If you stop them now," Lydia explained, "Cassandra's company declares bankruptcy. Your land gets tied up in court for 5 years. You get nothing but a half-finished construction site." She leaned forward, her eyes shining. "But if you let them finish, if you wait until the houses are painted, the pools are installed, and the roads are paved, then we sue. Under the law of unjust enrichment, you won't just own the land. You will own 96 luxury houses." It was brutal. It was cold. And it was brilliant. "How much will this cost?" I asked. $50,000, she said. "But when we win, and we will win, they pay my fees. But you have to be quiet. Don't tell anyone. Surprise is our weapon." I hired her that day. For the next 4 months, I lived a double life. I drove past Ridgeline Heights twice a week. I parked on the public road and filmed them. I watched framers building walls. I watched electricians running wires. Every nail they hammered was increasing my net worth, but it felt like torture. Cassandra spotted me during the 3rd week. She didn't like being watched. That's when the war started. First, the police came. A young deputy pulled me over. "Mrs. Whitmore says you are stalking her," he said. "She says you are making the residents feel unsafe." I showed him my deed. "I own this land," I said. He didn't care. He gave me a warning and told me to leave. Then came the Facebook post. My daughter texted me at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. "Dad, are you okay? People are saying crazy things about you online." I opened Facebook. Cassandra had posted a photo of my truck on the community watch group. "Alert," it read. "Local man Dakota Flint has been stalking our family-friendly community. He takes photos of children. Please report him. Keep our kids safe." It was a lie, a disgusting lie, but the comments were horrific. People were calling me a predator. People were sharing my license plate. The next morning, my boss called me into his office. "Dakota," he said, refusing to look me in the eye, "we got calls from clients. They saw the post. They don't want you on their projects. I have to put you on unpaid leave." I walked out to my truck, jobless. A woman in the parking lot saw me and crossed the street to get away from me. Cassandra wasn't just stealing my land. She was destroying my life. She was trying to break me so I would give up. I called Lydia, shaking with rage. "I want to sue her now. She is calling me a predator." "Hold the line," Lydia ordered. "She is panicking. She knows she is wrong. Every time she attacks you, she digs her grave deeper. Document everything. Take screenshots. We add defamation to the lawsuit." Then things got even worse. I got an audit notice from the IRS. An anonymous tip claimed I was hiding money. Then a private investigator showed up at my son's workplace, asking his manager if my son was violent like his father. They were coming for my family. I sat in my dark kitchen, holding a baseball bat, watching the snow fall. I wanted to drive up there and scream at her, but I remembered Grandpa's note. "Don't let the bastards take what's yours." So I waited. I waited until the last house was sold. I waited until the last coat of paint was dry. And then, on January 12th, we went to court. The courtroom smelled like floor wax and fear. Cassandra Whitmore sat at the defense table. She looked perfect. Expensive hair, expensive suit, whispering to her husband, Preston Whitmore. They looked confident. They thought I was just a bug they could squash. Her lawyer stood up. "Your Honor," he said arrogantly, "this case should be dismissed. Mr. Flynn abandoned this land years ago. We have clear title via adverse possession. The judge, a sharp woman named Ramirez, looked at him. Did he pay taxes? She asked. Well, yes, the lawyer stuttered. But then adverse possession fails. The judge said simply. Lydia stood up. She didn't need a microphone. Her voice filled the room. Your Honor, Lydia said, we are not here to debate squatters' rights. We are here because the defendants committed fraud, criminal fraud. Cassandra laughed out loud. Lydia didn't blink. She opened her briefcase and pulled out a single piece of paper. I would like to submit Exhibit A, Lydia said. An internal email from Preston Whitmore to Cassandra Whitmore, dated February 2022. Cassandra stopped laughing. Her husband's face went pale. Lydia handed the paper to the judge. I leaned over to read my copy. My heart started pounding. The email read, Subject, Risk Assessment. The Flint parcel is not abandoned. The owner has been paying taxes since 1971. However, if we build fast and sell fast, we can bury him in legal costs before he notices. Risk level is medium. Profit is $16 million. The room went dead silent. They knew. They had known from the very beginning. They knew it wasn't their land, but they calculated that I was too poor to fight them. This email proves premeditated fraud, Lydia said. They stole this land on purpose. The judge looked at Preston Whitmore. Is this email authentic? Preston tried to stand up, but his legs failed him. He sat back down. He didn't say a word. I will take that as a yes, the judge said. Her voice was ice cold. Lydia wasn't done. She brought out the receipts. Grandpa's leather ledgers. My tax records. The photos of Cassandra harassing me. The Facebook post defaming me. It was a slaughter. By lunchtime, Cassandra's lawyer was begging for a settlement. He offered $5 million. Lydia looked at me. I looked at Cassandra. She was crying now. The arrogance was gone. No deal, I said. The verdict came down the next morning. The judge ruled in my favor on every single count. Trespass, fraud, defamation, unjust enrichment. The ruling was catastrophic for the Whitmores. The court awarded me full title to the land and all 96 houses. The court awarded me $4.2 million in punitive damages. The judge referred the case to the FBI for criminal investigation. Cassandra and Preston lost everything. Their company dissolved. Their personal assets, their mansions, their cars, their bank accounts were seized to pay the debts. Preston is currently serving 5 years in federal prison for wire fraud. Cassandra got 3 years probation and is banned from real estate for life. But I still had one huge problem. I now own 96 houses. But those houses were full of people. Families, teachers, nurses, people who had spent their life savings to buy a home, not knowing they were buying stolen property. Legally, I could evict them. I could sell the houses again and make $40 million. Everyone told me to do it. Take the money, Dakota, they said. But I remembered Sarah Chun. She was one of the homeowners. She called me crying during the trial, asking if she was going to be homeless. She had 2 little kids. I looked at Grandpa's old ledger. He was a tough man, but he was an honest man. He didn't believe in hurting innocent people. So I called a town hall meeting in the unfinished clubhouse. All 96 families showed up. They were terrified. They thought I was there to kick them out. I stood up at the front of the room. I know you are scared, I said. You were scammed by the Whitmores, just like I was. You are victims here. The room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. I am not going to evict you, I said. A woman in the front row started sobbing. I am transferring ownership of the land to a community trust. I explained. If you paid for your house, you own it. Free and clear. No more mortgage payments to the Whitmores. You just pay the property taxes. For a second, nobody moved. Then the entire room erupted. People were hugging. People were crying. An old man came up and shook my hand so hard I thought it would break. I walked out of that meeting feeling better than any check could have made me feel. I didn't walk away empty-handed. I kept the $4.2 million in damages from the Whitmore's assets. I used that money to start a scholarship fund in my grandfather's name for kids who want to study engineering. I kept 5 acres of forest for myself, the part the developers hadn't touched yet. I built a small cabin there. I moved in last October. Every morning, I wake up and smell the pine trees. I drink my coffee and look out at the forest. Sometimes, I drive through the neighborhood. I see kids playing in the yards. I see families living their lives safely. And I know that I did the right thing. Cassandra Whitmore thought she could crush me because I drove an old truck. She thought she could take what she wanted because she was rich. But she learned the hard way. You can have all the money in the world. You can have the expensive lawyers and the fancy cars. But if you don't have the receipts, you don't have anything. My name is Dakota Flint. And I didn't let the bastards take what was mine.